What's up, everybody? Are you interested in getting into van life but question how the electrical system and the batteries and all that stuff work? I'll tell you what. Today I'm going to talk about how I have my electrical set up. So my electrical setup it's set up a little bit differently than what most people have done. The reason, okay, so when I first started van life, I never got into the solar panels or anything like that. I set mine up, I call it the poor man's process because I was trying to build my van cheap in the beginning. Not this van, the Econoliner I had. And when I built out this van, I did it very similar to the way I did it before because it worked. It worked well, so I kind of perfected it. Here we go. I drew up a little diagram of exactly how I have it set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this and show you exactly what I did and how I did it, and then I'll cut back and forth to little parts of the van that I'm talking about. So here we go. Okay. Here it is. So I've got everything just kind of like in boxes and wrote out what it is. Yeah, look at my terrible handwriting. So here you have the alternator, right? And that charges my van battery. And plugged into the van battery, I have a 3,000 watt inverter. Now, the 3,000 watt inverter turns on when I turn the key. And I've got that set up on a 12 volt relay. So basically when 12 volts are applied, and I got those 12 volts, I plugged in an add a fuse to my fuse panel, which gave me 12 volts to the 12 volt relay, and when 12 volts are applied, it makes a connection, and that connection is my 3,000 watt inverter. So that's how I have that turned on. So that turns on, and that plugs into my power source selector. And the power source selector has two lines coming out. One that plugs into the 3,000 watt inverter, and the other one goes to exterior power. So picture this, all this right here is the box in the front of the van. So in the front of the van, in the box, I have a generator, a 2,000 watt Honda generator. And that is plugged into my power source selector. Now on the other line of this power source selector is my shore power. And that's plugged into the power source selector. So in the box, I could switch between the two. I could either go shore power or generator power. And from that power source selector, there is a line that is run in to my second power source selector, which I call this exterior power. And this way, the 3,000 watt, I call the inverter power, van power. So this power source selector is like my hub. That power goes through here, and that gives power to my microwave, my toaster oven, my coffee maker, my air conditioner, and my small heater. So my air conditioner, I would never run off the inverter. I would always run it on exterior power. The reason for that is you wouldn't run your van all night for air conditioning. Why wouldn't you just use the van air conditioning if you're going to do that? I would only use the AC on either shore power or run the generator all night, which I do quite often. And that is why I tapped into my gas tanks, so that way the generator has basically unlimited fuel. So same thing with the heater. I would never run the heater off the alternator or the 3,000 watt inverter because that's a lot of power to run all night. Also, I would never run it off the generator either because it's not as efficient as my buddy heater, the propane heater. So I would only run that off when I'm on shore power. I'll run it in the winter. I'll run my small heater because there's no reason to waste propane. So plugged into this power source selector as well is an onboard charger, and that it's a marine charger. Automatically, when it's plugged in, it starts charging my 200 amp hour battery bank system, which I have two 100 amp hour AGM Renogy batteries run in parallel to two terminal blocks. And I got those terminal blocks for like the AC, lights and all that. And I also have, I didn't write it down on here, but I also have a 1500 watt inverter that gives me power for my TV, my PS4, my security cameras, and I also have a strip here for any AC power that I need. Then on the terminal blocks, I have a little USB splitter deal that gives me power for my lights, and also all my USB ports, which I have like 3 or 4 of them around the van. So that's basically the rundown on my electrical setup. A little crazy, I know, but it works. And I've been doing this exact setup for about, well, ever since I started van life, 3 years now. And I have not had a problem yet. Any questions, please comment. I will answer, because I'm kind of curious of how other people do it. I know there's different ways of charging your batteries with solar and what do they call that? I forget what it's called, but it's something you could hook up to your alternator that goes straight to your batteries, so when you drive, it automatically starts charging. I forget what it's called, and I've looked into it, but I've never really needed to do that because the system I have just charges them just fine. So I never really upgraded. The reason why I wanted the 300 watt inverter plugged in to my charger, or my charger plugged into that to charge my batteries, is I wanted to have the ability to just start the engine and have my microwave and toaster oven working, also the coffee maker. I've been told by several people that, well, if you upgrade your inverter, you can run that stuff off your batteries. True, I'm sure I could, but I don't know. I just didn't want anything big drawing from those batteries. I wanted them to last as long as possible without a charge. So this way just kind of worked for me. So I just kind of stuck with it. And what else? It's not really that complicated. It's kind of, when you really figure it out, it's pretty straightforward. And it is a poor man's process. So the first van I did this, everything was smaller and simpler. I didn't have 2 power source selectors. I only had the 1. So what did I do? I think, because I did have shore power, but I had the 1. I forget how I had it set up. It's been a while. I haven't seen that van in a minute. But I had the generator. You know what? I don't think I had the batteries charging with the generator. I had the generator on the front of the van just strapped on the first van, and that was giving me power for my air conditioner. And I would never run that air conditioner off the inverter, because that's just stupid. You're going to run your van all night just to run the air conditioner? Why wouldn't you just use the air conditioner on the van if you're going to do that? Ideally, actually, and a lot of people have asked me that, in the summertime it's like 95 degrees at night. People say, well, why don't you just run your van and run your AC? Why do you have this crazy generator set up? I'll tell you why. Because that generator is running on 1 single piston, where the van has 6. So it's far more fuel efficient to run the generator running my portable AC than it is running the van AC. I think I spend just somewhere around a gallon a night. It's not too bad at the grand scheme of things. And also that in the summertime, when I'm running the generator overnight, I never have a problem with my batteries because they are full in the morning every day. Unless I'm on shore power, then it's also full. Where it's in the winter, sorry, the wind was coming, blowing the paper away. In the winter, I had to watch the batteries a little more, because I'm not running that generator. It's only charging when I'm on shore or when I'm driving, because I'm rarely ever using the generator in the winter. Although there has been times where I started the generator just to give a little charge to the batteries. And I was cooking something. I was using a toaster oven, and because the generator runs on low RPM when nothing's really drawing from it other than something small, I just let it run all night. So what? Who cares? Let it run. In the morning, my batteries were full. So with my setup, I've never had an issue charging my batteries. I've never been in a scenario, you know what I mean? I just never, and that's why I've never really changed anything. That's why I'm questioning if I should do the solar panels or not. I don't know, it would be nice. Maybe I'll get them to them. So I am thinking about building a deck. I'm going to weld together a deck on top of the van. And once I do that, then maybe we'll get into the solar panels. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyways, that's my electrical setup. If you guys have any questions, please comment. If there's a better way to do this, I'm sure there is. Let me know. You know, I'll consider upgrading one day, maybe. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Keep it simple. Keep it real. So one thing I forgot to mention, the generator on the box, I have a courtesy outlet right here. So basically the generator, this courtesy outlet is plugged into my power source selector here. So when I run the generator, you got an outlet right here. I can pull this generator out and use it wherever I want, but usually it just stays in here. So I can start this up, and I got power here as well. Also, when I plug into shore power and I switch this, this also acts as a pass-through. So I could be plugged into shore power, and if I need more power for something, this is a pass-through, which also works. So that's a good thing as well.